Alright, so before we get started, I just need to let you know that this interview is being recorded, but it's only going to be used for a graduate level school psychology interviewing class. If at any point you don't feel comfortable about talking to me about anything, just let me know. We can definitely stop recording. Also, if you just don't feel comfortable talking to me about an issue or a problem that you're having in general, also just let me know about that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me what brings you in today.
So I'm having a little anxiety about the stage of life that I'm in terms of very soon I'll be having to become a real adult, and I with the benefits of that, of actually leaving grad school and making real money, that there'll just come more responsibilities and more expectations. So sort of grappling with all that.
Okay, so it sounds like you're a little bit stressed about what's to come.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say that.
Can you walk me through a typical day that you have?
So right now I get up on my own, no alarm, but it's still around 8, so there's still a lot of the day left. And then have breakfast. I like to bike to work, and actually the whole time, as soon as I get up, pretty much I turn on the news.
Okay.
I listen to a YouTube news channel, and then podcasts on the way to work. Actually, if I'm doing anything mindless, I like to have something on, some music. And then I get to work, and if it's a good day, I will get started on studying. So I have a qualifying exam in January, and I'm preparing for that now by trying to study for it. If it's a good day, I get to studying right away and knock that out. If it's a bad day, I go online and look up music blogs, and check emails. Usually if I have a lot of emails I have to respond to, then not as much studying gets done that day, because in between emails I'll check websites or something. And then I eat a lot, and then throughout the day, and also I try to get into the lab. And I'm working on an experimental setup right now, and so there's a lot of sort of hands-on electrical work that's required that I'm not an expert in, so it takes me a long time to get done.
Okay.
And then at the end of the day, probably get into the office around 9 and leave around 3 or 4 to go to the gym, and then come home and try to spend some time with my girlfriend. We're good together now.
Okay. What are you in graduate school for?
Mechanical engineering, and I just finished a master's in the spring. And now starting I'm not actually technically a PhD student yet because I have to pass the qualifying exam for that. Okay. But in January will be my final and chance to get into the program.
Okay. So it sounds like the exam is the thing that's really stressing you out a little bit at this point.
Yeah, it definitely looms large. So I took it in the end of last summer, and I did not pass. There's 4 tests, and I passed 1 of the 4.
Okay.
So I still have to pass the other 3, and they're just very extensive in what they cover. And one of the exams actually is a class I've never taken.
Okay.
So I've had to teach myself that, and so yeah, it definitely is it's like a big gate, right, in my life at this point, which is and just to know it's looming out there is always a weight that's on my shoulders right now. Yeah.
How do you study for exams or tests in the past? Or how have you?
So in the past, I have tried to do example problems.
Sure.
But the thing is, usually okay, this is what's going to be on the exam. And while I've taken the exam before, the exam, there will be 4 questions. So they're basically final exams from college, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll cover several different classes, and so just trying to figure out how to study for all of them. Right now I'm just doing a lot of problems, practice problems, and also there's a memorization component because you have to know a lot of key terms, these dimensionless numbers. And so trying to memorize all those, I have a lot of flashcards. I'm doing these memory tricks. Okay. So I don't know if you've heard of the people your memory palace. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm doing that. I have free memory palace. I don't know how well that's going, but it's okay.
Okay. What happened with the last exam? You said that you didn't pass the last one?
Yeah. So I spent all summer learning the material.
Sure.
And I don't think, had enough time to practice them so that I was able to quickly get the problems done. So, like, for example, the heat transfer, when I've taken the class before, the 2 classes that it covers, but I hadn't done the test, just kind of like took them a step further, and I hadn't done enough problems during the summer as I was studying, so that as soon as I entered the test, I was able to like just bust them out, you know.
Sure.
So that was one of the issues I think I had, and then also just like reading the problems, the way the professor asked some of the questions on a different exam was tough.
Okay.
And then what else happened? Oh, and then for the other exam that I failed, it was I just hadn't memorized enough. I'd memorized like maybe 15 or 20 dimensionless numbers. I needed to know like 50 for the exam. So this time I'll try to know all 50, I guess.
Okay. Is there something in your life that you like to do to relieve any of your stress, or?
So I guess working out is some of that. I did like running, and pretty much any time I can just put on a podcast and kind of focus on a mindless task, that's really nice for me. So running, even doing the dishes, actually, I do before bed because it just kind of clears my head.
Sure.
And folding laundry, like just anything where I don't have to do a lot of thinking, because of studying, because of my I'm writing papers right now for my research, and also just the electrical work that I'm doing. It's a lot of, for me, like mentally taxing stuff.
Sure.
So anything where I don't have to think too hard.
Okay. What are you hoping to accomplish in the future? After passing this exam, what is a direction that you want to see for your life, or where do you want to see it headed?
So I guess the big thing why this is a gate is that I've been accepted into a NASA Pathways program.
Awesome.
Where I will be able to, in the summers, go intern for NASA.
Okay.
In their California center in the Silicon Valley area, and then when I graduate with the PhD, I'll be able to convert to a full-time employee.
Okay.
So I really want to work for NASA. Like, that's the kind of lifestyle that I want, because they really focus on like work-life balance.
Okay.
And like engineering is cool, but so is like a lot of other things in life,
Sure.
and I want to be able to do all of them. And also but at the same time, like I want to do really cool engineering. And so a lot of times in my fields, when you are doing cool work, like if I'm working for Tesla or SpaceX or one of the companies that are trying to push the envelope, that's all you do, you know? That's like your whole life. And so I think NASA, and plus it's NASA, but it'd be a good chance to do important work and also have a life, you know, because I would like to have a family someday, and it'd be really, like, it's passing the exam for me just kind of opens the doorway to a life that I really want, you know, like I can get back to California and get out of this winter and stuff.
Are you originally from California then?
Yeah, so I moved around a lot as a kid, but from, I guess, second grade on, I was in California.
Okay.
So that really, I guess, is what I'm most used to.
Sure.
I mean, technically I was born in Oregon, so I did experience a winter when I was a child, but I don't think I definitely don't remember it.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm originally from the Sacramento area in California.
Okay.
So that's like a bigger Madison, I guess.
Okay. So the ultimate goal then would be to get a job working for NASA.
Yes, definitely.
What are some of the things that you do in the immediate future that could help you towards that goal, in addition to passing this exam?
I'm actually right now trying to have been in talks with them to try to link my research direction with something that they're interested in. So the group that I would be going into at NASA is a systems engineering, systems safety group. So their focus is like, okay, how do we make sure that the technologies that we're employing are going to be safe and effective? And if there are failures in the technologies or the products that we're creating, how do we then minimize the risk to the overall mission? And so, but my research is like, well, let's create this new technology that doesn't exist right now.
Okay.
So trying to find a link between those two is something that I'm working on with them. Because it'd be nice if as part of my research, when I can continue that when I go down there.
Okay.
So that's one step, I guess.
Sure. Okay. Is there any strong support from family members, or you mentioned a girlfriend that you have right now that you can turn to when you get stressed out?
When I get stressed out, I think I actually mostly just talk to my dad about those kinds of issues, because I think he's like 70, so he has a lot of life perspective.
Sure. Okay.
So he's always helpful to talk to about that. I don't really talk with Rachel a lot about feelings.
Okay.
Because she's more like a dude.
Okay.
So she doesn't it's mostly just would be me talking the whole time.
Sure.
And it's nice to my dad, he was a professor, so he also it's nice to just hear other people's thoughts,
right?
Too, as opposed to just me sitting here talking for 20 minutes.
Okay, so he's a professor, so he understands the challenges and things of school and graduate school.
Yeah, he is a law professor.
Okay.
Yeah, or at least he's a lawyer, and so he did some teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to see accomplished, or something that we can talk about or we can work on right now?
I guess. I would like to know. Well, unless you have the secret of how to keep women happy, that's something. I mean, there are always issues in as I'm getting older, I now have my girlfriend lives with me, and so there are issues in terms of trying to bring two minds and make one, so how I see an acceptable life and melding that with how she sees an acceptable life. And so I guess maybe we could talk about is there some sort of techniques to how to do that effectively?
Communication is key.
Right.
How long have you two been living together for?
So I want to say 6 months.
Okay, so it's a relatively new experience.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you two been dating for?
3 years. Let's see. It might almost be 4 years. It's going to be 4 years in January.
Okay. Wow, congratulations.
Thanks. No, and I really have enjoyed all of my time with her. And she sort of helped structure my life in a way because she actually has a real job, so she's a teacher in 7th grade. I have to in order to spend time with her, I have to be around when normal people hours are, right? So I can't just go to the lab whenever I want. So I don't really. I used to before we lived together, I would be in the office a lot later. So probably to 7. But I would also get up at 10. So it gives me. I see a different part of the day, I guess you could say now. But just sometimes I feel bad working longer because I feel like I should be spending time with her. Yeah. And that's new because she lives here.
Sure.
I never felt that before when she didn't live here, even though she was just down the road.
Right.
And so that's a new kind of pressure on my. I don't know if maybe it's a pressure on my life. Yeah,
okay.
To make sure that when I'm at work, I'm getting stuff done so that I can get home.
How has living together gone so far? Have you hit any big road bumps, or have you been able to talk things out with your girlfriend?
I don't think there have been too many big road bumps. Mostly just like an accumulation of smaller things.
Okay.
Right. So like, like I feel like I do a lot of. I feel like we split up household duties, but for some reason I feel like I do a lot of the like housewife stuff,
Okay.
and maybe that's because like my perspective as a guy is that I probably shouldn't be doing any of it, and so the fact that I do, it might even be half. It might even be that I only do half, right?
Sure.
Or maybe even less than half, but I maybe just have the perspective that I should be doing less.
Sure.
So maybe I'm quite possibly wrong in that. But it's because she has like a real job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where she has to get to bed early.
Sure.
And so I can do more of the housekeeping stuff.
So it sounds like but you've also said that you enjoy doing the housework stuff to alleviate some of the stress that you may be having sometimes.
That's true.
No.
But I guess it's when so like if she, for example, like says, "Why is there a mess here?" And I'm like, "But I do so much cleaning. There's gonna be messes sometimes, you know." So it's just, again, it's like an accumulation of small things that don't really cause an issue. I guess those are just things that you have to get used to.
Right.
It's just getting used to the fact that you now have to worry about somebody else
living
in your
with
space.
someone else. Yeah, absolutely. Well, those are normal problems that you are having. So it does sound, though, like you are able to work those out and have a good relationship with your girlfriend, which is awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. So, from what I've gathered, is just that you have this big exam that's coming up, and that is a really big part of your life right now because it'll open up a whole lot of opportunities for you in passing it. So, I want to thank you for coming in, and yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.